much, and thank you to everybody that's made tonight possible. I've been active in preserving and protecting our unique area for nearly 20 years. My family and I have lived in the community for nearly 25 years. My experience includes city and county land use planning, ordinance creation, securing grants, parks and recreation planning, balanced budgeting, preserving historic and natural resources. I've served as a Fulton County Commissioner appointee to the Design Review Board on the Rural Preservation and Northwest Fulton Overlay Committees, and many others. For 10 years, I was the Executive Director of the Birmingham Hopewell Alliance, representing community interests. I have a Bachelor of Science in Finance, graduating magna cum laude from Florida State University. I have 15 years of experience working with Citibank and Equifax. Milton has an identity, rural and low density and small town. It's the reason that most of us moved here, the reason that Milton is attractive to new residents, and the reason that our home prices have decreased less than any area in the state during the worst recession of our time. We must protect that. Milton must change and grow, but we must follow a plan and a design, or we end up just like so many other suburbs. Managing this change in the face of many pressures requires focus and discipline. It also requires strong leadership. It is not an accident that Milton remains rural and unspoiled. I have the required business and governmental experience, knowledge, and commitment to continue to move Milton forward as your City Council representative. As I complete my 5th year as your City Council, I know that the City Council must be balanced and meet the city's needs. Critical land use and master planning decisions still lie ahead of us, and it remains vital that my proven record of ensuring transparency stays at the council table. I have no ties to special interest groups and have proven that I'm willing to stand strong on the issues that matter to the future of our community. I care passionately about ensuring Milton remains special, sustainable, and a positive draw for the entire region.
Next, Mr. Coons.
Thank you first to the Stone Creek Church, the Milton Herald, and Access Milton for putting on this debate. And thank you to each of the candidates up here as well for taking the active role in our government. Thank you to my wife, Radonna, for sharing her time by allowing me to campaign. And thank you to all of you for coming out here tonight and to gain an understanding of the issues facing our community and our future. Briefly about me, my parents used to live in the area, but I grew up with horses and became an Eagle Scout. I went to Notre Dame, where I was a walk-on football player for legendary Coach Lou Holtz and participated in an Orange Bowl. Over a decade ago, I moved to Georgia, and after meeting my wife, who had already chosen Milton, we married and chose to stay with all of you in Sable Point. I was immediately active in the community, both in business and through coaching your kids in sports, and I've always loved bringing out the potential in people, and there is no greater joy for me than seeing a few individuals grow into a confident team, ready to face a competitive world on the field of play. But that brings us to our home, right here in Milton, Georgia. Ask yourself if we are that confident team right now. Have we delayed in making our roads safe, installing sidewalks, or building our parks? Have we delayed in helping our entrepreneurs so that their efforts help with our sustainability? Have we delayed in building community without our sports fields and pocket parks? My friends, we can't afford to delay any longer. Our city budget is barely $18 million. We need more, and there has been a pattern of delay that is putting us at risk in a very stressful global economic crisis. Our 2030 comprehensive plan on page 17 states that by 2013 our expenses will surpass our revenues. As a financial advisor who manages my own portfolios, with my understanding of economics, I know how it can feel to be impacted by a changing economy. How many of your own livelihoods have been affected by our global credit crisis? My friends, with the U.S. government having printed $3 billion per day during Quantities 2, the pie isn't getting any bigger for all the cities in North Fulton. In order to sustain ourselves, we're going to have to fight for every dollar in that pie using free market principles. We'll have to make that choice by electing me, Matt Coons, on November 8th. Thank you.
Now for District 6, Mr. Large.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Lance Large. I'm a conservative, a proud husband, father, grandfather-to-be, and a respected professional civil engineer. My wife and I live in Belterre, and if elected to serve, I will bring nearly 30 years of design and managerial experience to the council and our city. My campaign, Large for Milton, addresses the question of our future success and sustainability as an independent city. Our future depends on two imperatives. First, we must commit to retaining, strengthening, and preserving our rural character and lifestyle. But secondly, the preservation of our lifestyle depends on our success and dealing with serious financial issues that loom on the horizon. I believe these two imperatives can be satisfied through what I'm calling heritage and high-tech. This simply means we can attract high-tech, low-impact, and environmentally friendly businesses to our community. These businesses will be located within the 3 existing commercial zones. In this way, we will preserve the rural lifestyle we value so dearly. We do not have to choose between them. By diversifying our tax base, shifting a larger portion of the burden from homeowners to businesses through this heritage and high-tech approach, we can keep Milton's infrastructure well maintained. We can provide quality community facilities and programs for all of our citizens. We can preserve our precious way of life. I am the only candidate for District 6 with professional business and leadership experience, the only candidate for District 6 with proven experience creating jobs, generating revenue, and returning value to investors. I will consider it an honor and a privilege to serve you, the citizens of Milton, as the councilperson from District 6. Thank you.
Mr. Tartt.
Thank you, Mr. Copsey, and thank you to all of you for coming tonight. Thank you to the Stone Creek Church, and thank you to Access Milton as well as the Milton Herald for hosting the only debate in the city of Milton. I am very pleased to see so many supporters here tonight, even though I know you couldn't wear your campaign flair for fear of being turned away. I'm also cognizant of the fact that this is a very, very important election. I have served you for the last 4 years as a city council member from District 6. I have served you in that capacity with honor, and I'm humbled to be able to have served you for 4 years, and I look forward to serving you in the next 4 years as well. Tonight, you're going to hear information that's factual, and you're going to hear information that's not so factual. I believe that the information that you're going to hear that's not so factual is meant to mislead you and take you down a path that most citizens in this city do not want to go down. I will be very assertive in my approach tonight. I will be factual, and I will be respectful. And I think it's necessary to have that approach in this debate tonight, because it's necessary for you to be able to make the kind of decisions that you need to make with informed, factual information. When I came to the city 4 years ago, when I moved to the city in January 2005, I moved here because I wanted something different. I moved from Sandy Springs. I moved here because I wanted something different for my family. And I knew very quickly after moving here that this was something to protect. I very quickly got involved in my HOA, and within a year I very quickly decided to run for city council. And I have been involved in this community ever since I've moved here. You will note that I have been very instrumental in preserving our rural equestrian character, as well as protecting our more commercial areas like Highway 9, Crabapple, and Birmingham. I ask for your vote on November 8th, and I appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you. Now we'll move into the meat of the debate. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to respond to a question. Each candidate within each district. And so the first question goes to Mr. Large. When Milton was formed, the promise was to provide the same level of service as was previously provided by Fulton County. Do you feel Milton has fulfilled this promise or exceeded it? In what ways?
As far as the promise is concerned, we basically kept the same level of service. We haven't advanced the level of service. Also, Milton was left with a legacy of a lot of rural roads that were old farm roads that are constantly deteriorating. We have a pavement management plan that was done in 2009. We also have a pavement evaluation that was done in 2007, showing the deterioration of all these pavements. We're not keeping up with these pavements. We still have one park in the city. We have not advanced. Yes, we've maintained, and that's all we're doing.
Mr. Tartt, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you. I absolutely believe that we have advanced as a city. We inherited a nightmare from Fulton County. Our police and fire was grossly understaffed. There was one police officer for all of North Fulton. We have since gathered data necessary to be able to more fully staff our police and fire department. We added additional officers this year. Our gravel roads and our parking, our paving, again, were grossly not taken care of. We have funded those roads at $2 million this year and $2.2 million every year thereafter. In addition, we are in the process of doing 5 intersection improvements in park and recreation.
Thank you. Mr. Large, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Again, we have deteriorating roads. We don't have any bike paths. We don't have any walking trails. Yes, we do have a good public safety department that has been constructed by the city. But it takes up 43% of our revenue in doing that. And so that's where we stand right now.
The following question is for Mr. Tart. There are a number of equestrian-related activities in the city that could be considered commercial, such as the stabling of horses and riding lessons. And yet they are not licensed as businesses. Should they be? Why or why not?
Thank you for that question. I believe it's absolutely essential for us to preserve our rural equestrian character here. And in order for us to do that, we need to support our equestrian businesses here, and I think we need to find some innovative ways to do that. One of the things that our city council has talked about in retreats is looking at a special zoning for our equestrian businesses so that when those businesses come up for consideration at the city council, we would look at those a little differently than other businesses because they are different in a sense, and that they are more rural and they do go more with our character than, say, a normal commercial business. So I'm in favor of looking at different ways of zoning those businesses to preserve them. I'm also looking at ways to be able to preserve our rural equestrian character in looking at what we call transfer of development rights. That would be where homeowners that are, or landowners in the interior of Milton would be able to give up their rights or sell their rights to develop their land in exchange for money and tax offsets, and to allow us to beef up our more commercial areas that are more suitable for that type of development.
Mr. Large, you have 30 seconds to respond.